The IB May 2020 results scandal. The wrecking ball of COVID-19 shook the fundamental pillars of our society: healthcare, education, and the economy. Particularly, high school education boards across the world had to rethink their approach for grading their students in a fair manner. While American institutions like College Board chose to offer their AP exams online, the European counterpart to College Board, the IBO, the organization behind the IB exams, chose to use a statistical awarding model to evaluate the students' hard work. The result of IBO's choice was that none of the students got results of their choice. In a regular examination session, the IB assesses the students' final grades by first evaluating their coursework, which are assignments to be submitted for a subject, and second, their final exams, which are marked out of 40 to 45 points. There is absolute transparency about how much weightage is being given to each assessment. But for this year, the IB eliminated the exam component and calculated the students' final grade based on the following metrics: individual students' coursework, the students' predicted grades, and most surprisingly, the students' school's historical performance. The difference in this case was that they never revealed how much weightage was being given to each of these components. In fact, the IB never even revealed the exact workings of the awarding model. I was among the 170,000 students who awaited their results on 5th July 2020. Upon seeing the results, I was astonished to see that my final grade was 4 points lower than my predicted grade. At first, I thought I was the only one who underperformed, but a quick Google search revealed that 25,000 students across the world had signed a change.org petition with the title Justice for May 2020 IB's Graduates, which described, and I quote, many students across the world have received significantly lower final grades than what they were predicted. Following this, I wrote a letter to the IB asking for clarification about the awarding model, to which I have received no reply. The implications of low final grades were university rejections, increased tuition fees, delayed graduation dates, and a massive toll on a student's self-esteem as they doubt their understanding of a subject. The IB was surprised by the complaints and dissatisfaction in the results. In their statistical bulletin report for the May 2020 results, the IB revealed that the average grade point per subject, graded out of 7 points, increased from 4.77 to 5.08. The results also show that the 2020 exams had a higher grade distribution compared to previous years. Grace Abu Hamad, a public policy advisor at the Canadian and artificial intelligence firm, acknowledged the IB's model and explained, and I quote, school context could help balance out fraud. Abu Hamad noted that certain schools could inflate their students' coursework scores or predicted grades, and that the model needed to take that into account by comparing the results of the schools comparing this year's results with those of the previous year's results. For the ongoing November 2020 exam session, the IB has yet again offered an option to assess a student's performance using an algorithm, along with a choice to give exams in person. Unless enough voices are raised to account for individuality in the grading process, the IB will continue to assert that its undisclosed models can evaluate a student's performance. The IB awarding model relies on using a student's school's historical performance, and this creates a bias in the favor of wealthy schools, where historically students have scored well, and a bias against poor neighborhoods, whose students have scored lower historically. Income inequality translates to educational inequality. Having said all this, I'd like to end by asking the following question: why do we believe that solutions that are backed by statistics are free of society's biases? Thank you.